Welcome to Last Week in Space for March 4th through 10th, 2017. On Thursday, March 3rd, China quietly launched the TK-1 satellite on a KT-2 solid fuel rocket from the Jiuquan Space Center in the Gobi Desert. The small satellite entered a polar orbit and will be used for remote sensing, telecommunications, and experiments in mini-satellite-based technologies. On Monday, March 6th, the Sentinel-2B satellite successfully launched on a Vega rocket from the French Guiana Space Center. The European Space Agency satellite will be placed in a sun-syncronous orbit as part of the ESA Copernicus program, giving Europe continuous, independent, and reliable access to Earth observation data. Sentinel-2B is the fourth satellite in the Copernicus program to be orbited. The Sentinel-2B Earth observation satellite primarily focuses on monitoring landmasses and coastal zones around the world. Its data will be used for applications concerning the monitoring of vegetation, soil types, and habitats. Sentinel-2B will be positioned in an orbit opposite that of Sentinel-2A to ensure optimum coverage and data delivery. The pair of Sentinel-2 satellites will cover the Earth's entire surface in 5 days. On March 6th, Sierra Nevada Corporation unveiled that they will resume flight tests for the Dream Chaser spacecraft in its cargo variant to support the International Space Station. Tow and landing tests are being scheduled at NASA's Armstrong Flight Research Center in California this spring. In January 2016, NASA announced that Sierra Nevada, SpaceX, and Orbital ATK had won bids for hauling cargo to the ISS from 2019 through 2024. On March 6th, the recently launched GOES-16 NOAA satellite turned on its geostationary lightning mapper instrument, which takes images at 500 frames per second. The GLM captured real-time lightning flashes from a violent storm over the Texas coastline. The high FPS of the camera allows forecasters to distinguish the location, intensity, and horizontal propagation of the individual strokes within each lightning flash. Monitoring the flash rate from convective cells and their extent can help forecasters improve tornado and severe weather forecasts and warnings and their impending threat to the public. On Tuesday, March 7th, Blue Origin unveiled their design for the New Glenn space rocket. The rocket is slated to launch by 2020 and is being designed to be reused 100 times. The two-stage rocket is powered by 7 BE-4 engines, delivering 550,000 pounds of thrust each for a combined 3.85 million pounds of thrust at liftoff. New Glenn includes aerodynamic fins on the first stage for re-entry steering, similar to SpaceX Falcon 9. On that same day, Blue Origin also unveiled their first customer for the New Glenn, which will be Eutelsat. And then later on, they also unveiled that OneWeb will launch aboard the New Glenn. On March 7th, Cassini, which is orbiting Saturn as it nears the end of its mission, took a fascinating image of Saturn's moon Pan. Pan has an interesting equatorial bulge on it, making it look like a fat ravioli. Scientists theorize that it may be caused by an accumulation of dust from Saturn's rings. On Wednesday, March 8th, a full-size model of NASA's Orion spacecraft was dropped from a U.S. Air Force C-17 cargo plane over the U.S. Army Yuma Proving Ground in Arizona. The successful test was a second of 8 to certify the parachute system for human use. On Thursday, March 9th, SpaceX performed a successful hold-down test firing of their Falcon 9 rocket on Kennedy Space Center's Launch Pad 39A in preparation of the upcoming EchoStar 23 launch. EchoStar 23 is a commercial television broadcast satellite that will beam video programming to homes and businesses in Brazil. EchoStar 23 is already fueled and ready inside the payload fairing, awaiting installation on top of Falcon 9's rocket before the proposed launch on Tuesday, March 14th. Thank you for viewing this week's episode of Last Week in Space. Please comment below on your favorite thing that happened last week in space. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next week.